This one, honestly, I said this on Twitter, but this one really gives me no joy. A long time ago, when Rekieta started to go on the downward path, I decided that I wasn't going to do videos about him. This was probably a bad financial move for me because it was becoming a very profitable and very popular subgenre in the sector, essentially. The reason I decided to do this was that I'm a long-time Rekieta fan, or at least I say kind of was. I stopped watching his show quite a while ago, but I was back maybe first 1,000 people or so. Definitely when I think the first time I saw him was on the Kill stream, which used to be a good show. You know, there was a lot of entertaining shows, but I kind of was a stolen audience. Like I used to watch the Kill stream, then I just started watching Nick's show and followed him through up until about the Rittenhouse trial when things had to go downhill. And I can confirm that this is true. This is not a meme, but Nick, his wife, and also April have been arrested this morning. I think it's a Thursday morning or something in America. I'm not sure. It's a Friday morning in Japan. I literally woke up like 30 minutes ago. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? But we're going to take a look at these charges and what it might mean. It's true, but it's also a meme. Very true. You know what? I'll get the chat on screen so I can see them. All right. Now, there was a man that used to say, lead with your mistakes. And that man was Nick Rekieta. So I will lead with my mistakes. Over the last few days, a massive shit show has been boiling up, right? And that was the coke-splaining / DSP moment.
Thoughts on DSP?
So if you've... am I sharing my screen audio and everything? I better check, just in case. I'll be very embarrassing. Yeah, okay. So there was this moment that happened on screen. And I thought that this was obviously a DSP reference. How could this be real? You would have to be all kinds of stupid to actually have this happen on your stream. I was wrong. You know what? I'm going to admit it. I was wrong. People were reviewing the audio and there's all these like sloppy noises in the background. I'm like, no, that's not true. Looked at the audio myself. It's real. I'm like, okay, it could be anything. It could be anything, right? I was like, there was no way that April's really living with them. But it turns out that she was, because she was arrested at the same time. If I search for April, here we go. April, that's Steel Toe Morning Show's guy. She was also arrested on these drug charges. But let's go back up. Let's see what this actually means. I'm not sure how long this stream will go for. It's funny because I was thinking about inviting some people with some real legal knowledge on to explain this to me. But then I realized that they're all probably Nick's friends and they'll probably stop talking to me because I do this stream. So burning some bridges, I suppose. But this is just... I know that Nick doesn't want to be like the leader of anything. He doesn't want to stand for anything. But this is really, really frustrating for anyone that was perhaps following him back during the Vic days or any of the Keffel saga, any of that. Because retroactively, this is a big W for them. Like, do you remember the Sean stream where like Sean's eating a shoe, or that Duncan guy that came on? And it was like a big wanker, and then Nick got his channel deleted, but then he got back on, and it was like, well, you guys lose again. Rip. He was killing it. He was doing great. And now all those people are pointing and laughing at this guy that's being arrested for drug charges and I guess possession of firearms. I'm not sure if this is... I think this is just they tacked that on because they found some guns at his house or something, but we're going to go through this. It's very, very frustrating. And what does this mean for... what is this going to mean for his lawsuit against Montegraph? What is this going to mean for his children? Like, are they going to be taken into protective services? Because they homeschool, right? Like, if both the mother and the father have been arrested on these, it looks like drug possession schedules 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not sure if they just include this because it's just any drug or they haven't determined what they actually have, but I think this could also mean, I suppose, every drug. Who knows? And what is this really going to mean for the important thing? What is this going to mean for the 5K locals gift? And what is this going to mean for those extra 13 local shows that were supposed to happen? All right. Now, what's funny is that there are so many people searching for what fifth degree possession schedules mean in Minnesota. It's the first result. It's the first result that comes up when you search for drugs 5th degree in Minnesota. So let us take a look. Drug scheduling. Again, I have no legal experience, and I don't expect there will be any lawyers that'll help me out with this for obvious reasons. So we're going to have to go through this as laymen. let's see, drug scheduling. Drugs, substances, and certain chemicals used to make drugs are classified into 5 distinct categories or schedules depending upon the drug's acceptability of medical use and the drug's abuse dependence potential. The abuse rate is a determined factor on the scheduling of the drugs. For example, Schedule 1 drugs have a high potential of abuse, so 1 is the worst, and I guess 5 is the least. As the drug schedule changes, 1, 2, 3, etc., so does the abuse potential. Schedule 5 drugs represent the least potential for abuse. A listing of drugs and their scheduling is located in the Controlled Substances Act, blah, blah, blah. These lists describe a basic or parent chemical and do not necessarily describe the salts, isomers, and salts of isomers, esters, and derivatives, which may also be classified as controlled substances, okay? So let's see. Schedule 1 drugs. Schedule 1 drugs or chemicals are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Some examples of Schedule 1 drugs are heroin, acid, LSD, that is, marijuana. I'm not sure why marijuana would be a Schedule 1 drug. That seems pretty silly. Ecstasy, methaqualone, and peyote. Schedule 2 drugs. They have a high potential for abuse, with potentially leading to severe psychological or physical dependency. These drugs are considered dangerous, such as Vicodin, cocaine, methadone, oxycodone, fentanyl, Adderall, Ritalin, etc. Schedule 3 drugs are things such as 90 milligrams of codeine, ketamine, anabolic steroids, and testosterone. Well, we know Nick's not on that. Schedule 4 drugs, Xanax, Soma. What is Soma? I've never heard of that. Valium, Taiwan, Ambien, and Tramadol. And Schedule 5 drugs could be something such as 200 milligrams of codeine or 100 per milliliters of Robitussin. Robitussin? That's kind of a funny one, actually. Yeah, I would kind of expect marijuana to actually be like a Schedule 5 drug, but I don't know. What the hell? Oops, sorry, wrong one. What the hell? This is real. This is just happening. You might... I'm not going to reach out to anyone because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. Like, if they want to reach out to me, that's fine. They can come. Be sure to like the stream, by the way. It helps out, even though it's a sad day. Now, let's actually have a look. What is 5th degree drug possession? So this is what's being searched for at the moment. According to Minnesota law, a person guilty of controlled substances crime in the 5th degree if a person unlawfully possesses 1 or more mixtures containing the controlled substance classified in 1, 2, 3, or 4, except in small amounts of marijuana, or a person procures, attempts to procure, possesses, or has control over a controlled substance by any of the following means: fraud, deceit, misrepresentation, or subterfuge, using a false name or giving a false credit, or falsely assuming a title of or falsely representing any persons who may be a manufacturer, wholesaler, pharmacist, physician, doctor, osteopathic medicine licensed to practice medicine, dentist, podiatrist, veterinarian, or any other authorized person to obtain controlled substances. Note that 5th degree drug charges can apply to both possession of controlled substances as well as sale or attempt to sell of controlled substances. Possible defenses for a 5th degree controlled substance charge. A skilled defense attorney, that would be a practicing attorney, will use a variety of tactics to mitigate the consequences of controlled substance, such as entrapment, when a law enforcement agent or authority uses deception or coercion to get someone to buy drugs, known as a controlled buy. This is considered entrapment. A knowledgeable defense attorney can use this to their client's advantage. Unreasonable or unlawful searches. In some cases, a search may have been illegal in violation of an individual's rights under the 5th Amendment. Legal possession. Some drugs may be attained legally, such as if a doctor prescribes them. If an individual is arrested without prescription and later produces it, the charges may be withdrawn. So I think marijuana is legal in Minnesota now, isn't it? Does someone want to tell me? MSS. Let me see. MLS laws in chat. Let me know if you want to come on and talk about this, because I don't know much about anything. But a good question by Winning Reality, actually. Does anyone know how he got arrested? Was it a raid? I have a theory about this, and I'll get to the end of this, and then I'll talk about that. So I'll star your little chat there. I'll star that, and we'll talk about that in a second. I have a theory, which is probably not so hard to believe, but we'll see. Possession versus controlled substances, the 5th degree. Possession of controlled substance is prosecuted differently. I don't think he was selling drugs. That seems unlikely. What do you do if you've been charged with a 5th degree drug crime? If you've been charged with a 5th degree controlled substance offense, the first thing you should do is consult with a lawyer so you can begin to develop your offense. You can use sites like Avaro and Super Lawyers, hooray! I remember the Super Lawyers, to find reviews of local law firms to to help determine which lawyer would be best for you. Once you've found a lawyer, you should start scheduling a free consultation with him. Free consultation would be useful if all your money is going to other court cases and perhaps funding that 5K locals support. How to avoid conviction. An experienced criminal defense attorney may help you avoid conviction if you're the first-time offender. Instead, you'll be placed on probation. This is like, I can't see them actually going like, I think there's like a 5-year potential sentence and a $10,000 fine per scheduling for this. But we'll take a look at that in a second. I don't see them actually going away for this. Like, I don't see them going to jail. Like, if anyone's like, oh, yeah, he's going to go away this time. They got him. He got him. No, say goodbye. No, I think he'll probably be out in, like, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever the statement is. They'll process him, release him, and then they'll probably have I guess, another court case coming up. Not just the Monty one. But this probably will endanger the children in the family. Of course, he does have 5 children. I think the oldest is maybe 16, I want to say. I don't know. But what happens to them? I guess they go to the parents at this time or foster. I would assume they'd go to Kayla's family because I'm pretty sure they live in Minnesota. But who knows? Who knows? All right, let me see. Consequences of a controlled substance conviction. Pepsi Man says, I bet you $20 Rekieta serves jail time. I will take this bet. When you say jail time, I don't mean county jail. Do you mean prison time? Wait, do you mean prison time or jail time? Because if he's in jail for like a day, does that count as serving jail time? If he gets convicted on a drug case and goes to prison for a time exceeding a week, I will consider you correct and I'll give you the $20. I'll take this bet. If that is the for any time longer than a week, I will take that bet. But it has to be like an actual conviction, not just like staying already backpedaling. Like, no, like, come on now. If he's just like, let's say he mouths off to the police. If he mouths off to the police and they're like, you know what, you can spend the weekend in county jail. That doesn't count. Okay. It has to be a court conviction, jail time. I'll take that bet though. You can remind me about that one. All right. So let's see what happens. If you're convicted of If you're convicted of a controlled substance crime, you won't face jail or prison time. You could lose the right to possess firearms, the right to vote or serve on a jury, have difficulty getting a job, lose your driver's license, or lose this is for the 5th degree though. Of course, 5th being the lowest, and but it looks like he could be in for any of them. I wonder if this is just a boilerplate. Like, I wonder if they just like find drugs and they're like, we'll book you on these and then we'll determine what it is later. I would assume that would be the case. So a competent lawyer could probably get this down to a 5th degree charge, I'd assume. Let's see. If you've been charged with a controlled substance crime, it's critical to speak with a criminal defense lawyer straight away. Well, we should know some. All right. So this was an extract that someone had actually. Controlled substance crime in the 5th degree. Subdivision 1, sales crime. A person is guilty of controlled substance in the 5th degree upon conviction may be sentenced as provided in subdivision 4 if the person unlawfully sells or one or more mixtures. I don't think he's selling. I think he's probably buying. Let's see. Controlled substance crime in the 5th degree. Subdivision sales crime. We read that. Possession or other crimes. This is probably more important. A person is guilty of controlled substance crime in the 5th degree upon conviction and may be sentenced as provided in subdivision 4 if the person unlawfully possesses one or more mixtures containing controlled substance classified in schedule 1, 2, 3, or 4, except cannabis flower, cannabis products. Okay, this actually looks worse for Nick then, because I'm pretty sure all of us assume he's on cocaine, LSD, Molly, all those types of things. Low potency hemp, these things, blah, 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 blah. Person procures, attempts to procure, or has controlled substances of any of the following means: fraud, deceit, subterfuge. Okay, doesn't think that apply. Penalties. If a person named in subdivision 1, clause 1, who possesses ammunition or a pistol or semi-automatic military-style rifle is in violation of a clause, guilty of a felony and may be sentenced to imprisonment or not for not more than 5 years or payment of not more than $10,000 or both. Okay, that actually looks pretty bad because they did actually have possession of ammo and any firearm user of controlled substances. That actually does look pretty bad for my $20. They just like take it on because it's, I mean, he's got guns in his house, right? They just go there, they find the drugs, they find them like high off their rocker, then they find the guns. It's like, well, we get to tack on this extra charge now. Get ready to... Come on, Pepsi Man. Come on, Mess Man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see. Winter Soldier says, glory to the sector, Daddy Jim on Saturday, Kino Casino Sector Bowl on Sunday. Yeah, that's like Alyssa, Kino Casino, the A-Logs, they're eating good tonight. This is an absolute W for them. AM with a member for 17 months. Petition to invite Anime Cope. Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed. That's the super chat that was heard around the world. Tilly T with a £10. Thank you very much. Will Montegraph bond him out? I don't think so. And here's the thing about that is that anytime you have something that like distracts your attention, your finances or anything, and you're in a court case, it makes it like the defense on Montegraph's case, like it's so stupid because defamation is so hard to prove. And what damages has Nick actually done to Montegraph in terms of financial damages? Now, I'm not sure if damages are presumed or not, if it's defamation per se, etc., etc. But you've got to imagine that his defense team, or I guess Nick would be the defense team, sorry, because they're bringing the suit. Well, anyway, Montegraph's team is probably laughing themselves all the way to the bank, and they're going to squeeze harder and harder now. If there's anything they can do to cause more money, like redo filings, dick the court system around for more time and just like run up the cost, because Rendaza, Nick's attorney, is incredibly expensive. I think he spent somewhere in the range of $250,000, people are saying. If they just keep running up the clock, where's the money going to come from to pay for this? Like, I'm not sure that there is any. So it's not looking good for Nick and looking pretty good for Monty, which is crazy to say because, again, defamation is so hard to prove. It's one of the hardest, in fact, I think. And Megals, member for 21 months, says, what a stream to catch after ages away. Hi. Yeah, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Let me see. So where were we? A person named in Subdivision 1, Clause 2, who possesses any type of firearm and ammunition is guilty of a felony and may be sentenced to imprisonment of not more than 15 years or a payment of a fine of not more than $30,000 or both. This paragraph does not apply to any person who received a relief of disability under United States Code 18, Section 925, or who possesses firearm ammunition to be restored under Section, I'm not sure what that is. Probably for something like antique weapons or something. Penalty. This is what's probably important. A person convicted under the provisions of Subdivision 2, Clause 1, who has not been previously convicted of a violation of this chapter or similar offenses or in another jurisdiction is guilty of a gross misdemeanor if, 1, the amount of controlled substances possesses other than heroin is less than 25 grams, or 0.25 grams, I suppose, or 1 dosage unit of less than the controlled substance was possessed in dosage unit. I assume there's quite a lot of drugs at the house. If you live in the middle of nowhere, if you live in the city, you can get drugs anytime, right? If you live out in the middle of nowhere, you need a big stash to get you through those cold winter months. So I assume there's quite a lot of stuff over there. Let me see. Where was I? 25 grams or the dosage unit of lesser controlled substance was possessed in dosage units. The controlled substance possessed is heroin, and the amount is less than 5.5 grams. A person convicted under the provisions of Subdivision 1, Subdivision 2 clause, unless the conduct is prescribed in paragraph of Subdivision 1, clause 2, may be sentenced to imprisonment of not more than 5 years or to pay a fine of not more than $10,000 or both. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of assumptions here happening. Amateur iconoclast. I am making a lot of assumptions. That's all we can do. All of my assumptions have been wrong so far, actually. I wanted to give Nick the benefit of the doubt on a lot of things. I was like, no, it's probably just a meme. He's probably just, making a joke. He couldn't seriously be getting a sloppy toppy from April under the table during a live stream. That would be ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous. How could you even coom when you've got that much whiskey in your system, right? But apparently I was wrong about everything. This retroactively just like confirms all their dumb rumors. Like, you may as well just believe everything now. Like, unironically, I now fully believe, I am fully on board with, like, all right, everyone in the Discord that was saying no, you're wrong, this could be anything. I agree now. You know what? He was getting a BJ. He was getting a BJ under the table by April. It's confirmed now, I guess, because like if she's there in the house, which she must have been if she was arrested at the same time as him. Because if you look at the convictions, like they're arrested the same day. So you assume that all three of them. So we got Rekieta, his wife, and April. They're all arrested on the same day. and it's all felony 5th-degree charges. So they must have been arrested at the same house. So the rumor, the hot wife story that April was living with the Rekieters, I guess is true. Like, there's no other way to say it. Warski vindicated. I guess so. I guess so. All right. We'll go back to Whitting's question. Does anyone know how he got arrested? Was it a raid? Show us your audio enhancement. I deleted those files from my computer because I didn't want them to be there. But I did hear the sounds. All right. Who done it? This is kind of an interesting thought to me. I bet a lot of people are probably going to blame Aaron, which is April's wife, as a ex-husband, I suppose. He knew they were doing drugs. He could have served to benefit from having them arrested. It does a lot of benefit for him if they're getting divorced, any custody, anything like that. It's pretty good on his side. I don't think it was Aaron. I feel like that would be. I think it's just an A-log. I literally think it's probably just an A-log. There is one interesting thing though. If you look at Nick's mug photo, it looks like he's got like a black eye. Like if you see up here, there's like a slight black eye. I wonder if this is from just falling over some shit or being like, because he was like stumbling around. He probably just fell over some shit. But the black eye is kind of important because yesterday he did a local stream where he had camera off. And I think it was like a split second where there was actually camera on. And people saw like, what the fuck? Is that a black eye? Was Kayla like punching around or something? And he probably just walked into a door frame unironically. But maybe the cops. No, I don't think so. I think this happened. Yes. I think this was already present yesterday because I remember people talking about that. But I guess I'll put a poll up in chat. Who do you think called it? And let's see. Who called the feds? Aaron. A-logs. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, like, this isn't like, it's self-incrimination. If you stream yourself constantly talking about doing drugs and being like high off your rocker, all of this stuff is self-incrimination. Like the police they're just like, look at this video. Look at this video. This guy's obviously high. There are 5 kids in the house and he's talked about his doorbell reloading, right? They're like, okay, felony, drug, ammo, possession. It's a slam dunk. They just go and check. Oh, you're high off your rocker. The wife's high. The husband's high. This random other chick, I guess she's the maid. She's the nanny. Who knows? They're like, all right, let's just arrest everybody. Kids, go to grandparents' house. I don't know. That's what I would assume would happen though. Like they just don't put yourself out on the internet doing all this like bad shit. It's pretty simple to not record your worst moments online. Like actually, like Nick has actually had quite an effect on my life in both positive and negative ways. Like I think for this channel actually kind of got a bit of its start talking about the Johnny Depp case and talking about the financial earnings of the Johnny Depp stuff. And, you know, Nick talked about it. He's like mentioned, he's like, you know what? You know, this is interesting sort of thing. And this was back when he was a man of integrity. Would you say he's your e-daddy? No. I stopped having e-daddies a long time ago. But I think like a lot of like, unironically, I feel like Nick meant a lot to so many people that were probably working these like truck driver jobs or jobs where you have a lot of time by yourself. Certainly in my case, I moved to Japan in 2019. This is kind of when his channel was around 50, 60,000 viewers. And I was working a lot of hours. I was working for a black company, which is a really bad company in Japan that flouts labor laws. And sometimes, I mean, like basically daily, I would watch the show, listen along. Maybe I would get a drink for myself and drink along because it was a great show. It was an entertaining show. And it did feel like a surrogate friend. You know, of course, you can talk about parasocial relationships all you want. But this is the reality, is that a lot of people find comfort in just hearing a voice. Like that's why you leave the TV on sometimes, right? Or talking about things that you're interested in. And definitely this was my case, is that when I was, you know, working in Japan, moved over, left my friends, family, everything behind to come over and move to Japan, and then I was having a bad time. The show was a source of comfort. Absolutely. It really was. But it's not a source of comfort anymore. Like it's so weird to say, but it's like I was watching The Dragon's Treasure actually. The Dragon's Treasure did a really good video talking about what it means, what Rekieta meant to him. And I think a lot of people kind of echo the Dragon's Treasure's sentiment on that. Like, I'll show what it is. Hold on a second. Dragon's Treasure. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So the Dragon's Treasure, he did a video called The Downfall of Nick Rekieta, the man who helped me no longer exists. I think this kind of echoes kind of my entire feelings, where it's like it's a completely different person. Any indication that I should have put Montegraph in the poll, shouldn't I? I don't think so. I think that it was probably like just by sheer numbers. Just by sheer numbers, I wouldn't think. I'll read you the poll and I'll put Montegraph in there. How about that? How about that? How about that? Let me see. Let's see. Who called the feds? Who called the feds? Aaron. Steel Toe. A-Logs. And then Monty. There we go. And then I'll put, I guess, results / liked stream, as I do. There we go. The medallion. The Sonichu curse is real. The Sonichu curse is absolutely real. Also, Tilly T gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much. Members do give you access to the Discord where you can you can send your grievances to me personally, I suppose. What are A-logs? So A-logs is a kind of a term. Was it Chris Chen that came up with A-logs as a term? A-log just means something like a detractor. An internet detractor is an A-log. Someone that they just go online, they archive all the bad things you do, and they make fun of you online. That's an A-log. It's kind of, I think the term itself has kind of evolved to anyone that talks like poorly about you. Does it actually come from Anthony Legata? If that's actually the deepest lore in that, that's actually some pretty interesting like little things. I don't know about that. The thing is with Nick, like there's like a lot of things I want to say, but my mind is kind of scattered at the moment because this is just such a surreal thing to wake up to. One of the, like there's a lot of good advice Nick has given over the years. One of them was that he removes things that are addictive in his life because he has an addicted personality. Like he talked about being addicted to EverQuest, which is an MMORPG like World of Warcraft, if you're a bit younger. And he said, like, I was addicted to escapism, video game, and I couldn't beat the habit, so I sold my account. And this is really good advice. If you've got something in your life that is taking control and destroying or making your life worse, you should just get rid of it. If you can't find some way to incorporate into your life in a constructive manner, just get rid of it. So he knew he had an addicted personality, and then he started going on these massive drugs binges. And again, if I go back to a time when I was watching the show all the time, he would talk a lot about how drinking a lot of alcohol doesn't make you an alcoholic. And I think he's correct there. The problem is he became an alcoholic, but he kept his mind in that same place where he thought he wasn't. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And when you're an alcoholic, because as Nick said, if you're an alcoholic, you'll change your life to accommodate the drinking. And that's exactly what he did. He started eating less food so he could drink more on stream. If you're eating like 700 calories of crackers a day so you can fill the rest of your calories with whiskey, that is alcoholic behavior. You can absolutely drink a lot and not be an alcoholic. But if your life changes to accommodate the drinking, or if you can't get through the day without drinking, then you're an alcoholic. And more so than alcoholic. It's like unironically, I had a lot of spicy drinking streams. You guys know that. Like I've passed out on stream. I've gone to bed leaving the stream on for 6 hours while Max is talking. I did some pretty bad stuff. Okay, so I'm not innocent of like degenerate behavior, right? But this is what I said. Like Nick's stream has affected me in various ways. I stopped drinking, like getting drunk actually on stream. No, I'm doing a drinking stream tonight. Like when I say drinking on stream, I don't stop drinking on stream. I stopped like buying big bottle of whiskeys to just drink straight up because I didn't want that to be my life anymore. Like I was waking up on Saturday mornings after my Friday stream and saying, holy shit, what a shit show. And it was okay because I was making a bunch of money. I was like, you know what? It's fine. You know, when you do a job, sometimes your body takes a beating, so it's fine. You know, it's fine. No, that what I do now is I've changed. I'll just buy like 4 drinks or something, and then I won't go get more. And then it's like I know that if I drink this amount, I won't get blackout drunk. My life is actually much better now. Those are fun. Don't get me wrong; those drinking streams are very fun, and I'm still going to be drinking tonight. You can believe about that. You can believe that. But I have decided that I'm not going to get like passed out or blackout or anything like that anymore, because it's a shit show. It's a shit show, and because of that, and I made this decision because I actually saw what it was doing to Rekieta's stream. Don't drink on stream. That's actually good advice. But the thing is with my Friday stream is it's like it's kind of just like a chill party with my friends. I wouldn't drink alone. That's another thing. No Name TV says with 5 pounds. I fought with Turkey Tom in the 2078 BC Afro-Hungarian hyper war. What the fuck? And I was a field grade Grand Colonel, and I led assault against New Liverpool. Shati Supreme. This is a much too esoteric meme for me to understand, but I think the inevitable Turkey Tom video is coming. It's kind of crazy, like the massive coke-splaining stream that you can see clips of. It's been deleted, obviously, but there's still clips and local copies exist. It made waves around the internet. Like, Normie started to talk about this. I've seen Turkey Tom posting about it. You've already got like the fall of videos are already in the works. And how much further is it going to go? Normal drinkers don't fillet their liquor bottles. Yeah, this is like a big part of controlling your life is understanding what your weaknesses are and forming a system that doesn't destroy your life because of that. Nick has said by himself that he has oppositional defiant disorder. Basically, what he means by that is if you tell him to do something, he'll do the opposite. So people will say, don't lick the bottle, don't get drunk on stream. He's like, well, I'm going to do it now just to spite you. If you combine that with an addictive personality, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a pretty bad time. Alex Stein covered it. Exactly. Alex Stein, 99. Good show, actually. You learned it as you passed out on your stream. I learned that, like, I didn't quite learn it then. Like, I still was like, you know what? It was just a one-time thing. But it definitely got too much. Hey, Christina in chat. How's it going? Haven't spoken to you a while because I don't really stream when you're awake. But good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Did you see what Dax was saying? No, but feel free to send it through and I'll take a look. What kind of drugs? We don't know. We don't know what the actual drugs were, but we can probably make a guess that it is at least LSD, Molly. He's admitted to, I think, in the past. There was a stream where he came back with like white stuff in his nose. Some people are saying cocaine. I think it's possible that he just like crushed up some like, I don't know, modafinil pills or something. But it says possesses schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it could literally be any drug. I guess they haven't actually confirmed it just yet. This is so sad. Like it is. Like this actually does give me no joy, Marissa. This is sad because a lot of people in the sector, like Nick kind of invented the entire LawTube sector. Like it might sound like, wow, he watches streams and he puts the camera on and he talks about the case. He kind of invented that. Like he did. He made this new space that launched so many people's careers. The entire law sphere, with some exceptions. Some of them had like channels beforehand. Literally owe their success to Rekieta. He was a pioneer. And to go from having 100,000 live viewers during what was the Johnny Depp or Rittenhouse case, I think it was the Rittenhouse because Johnny Depp came after. And then after that, there were some changes that made it so that the legal law and crime was getting more views and things like that. Yeah. To go from that, like I was talking about this, I think when I was playing some games the other day, and I was saying that like Rekieta was on the verge of basically being the next Joe Rogan. He could have made that mainstream saturation, like that real point where he's just like that. Everybody knows. And now, what's going to happen now? Like when you get big enough, when you get large enough, there's a certain fans that will never abandon you, and that's nice. That's really good. That's good of them, right? But I really wonder what's going to happen to the show after this. Like, how many people are going to keep watching? Will there be an uptick in hate watchers And will it make a downward spiral? Is it the end? DM'd me? All right, I'll take these out. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on a second. All right, what is this? Dick Masterson. Nick has lost an unhealthy amount of weight. Okay. I think... Hold on a second. Okay, this is the one. Looks like you're going to need a bigger room, a bigger broom to sweep. And then Dick says, okay, you guys win. Fuck lol. So yeah, what's been happening for this, the context for this is that a lot of people were criticizing Nick for either getting drunk or for getting skinny. And then those people themselves, you know, maybe they're not in the best shape or they're just kind of internet, you know, geek-orkers or whatever. They're just talking about him. And then Dick was like, you know what? Yeah, well, so what? He's getting drunk. So what? He's getting high. He's making millions of dollars on stream. That's not really the case anymore. It was the case in the past. If you go over to Playboard, like, hold on a second. It's kind of Rekieta. Playboard is kind of annoying because they changed their reporting, so you have to subscribe to actually see all the details. But there's a website you can check which shows you all of the super chat earnings for channels. If my internet actually fucking works, hold on a second. I mean, he did make over $1 million in super chats, absolutely, but that's like during the big cases. Rekieta. Is this going to work? There we go. All right, Rekieta. So you can go over and you can see that his lifetime super chat earnings are in the realm of... All right, I should make this bigger for you, shouldn't I? Sorry, chat. Didn't know. You can see that of reported super chats that he has made, it's $1.2 million. And that's just super chats. That doesn't go into sponsorships. That doesn't go into video views, YouTube Premium. Super chats will probably be like 50% of the earnings, maybe, at most. So he did make a lot of money, but this is the money that he made during the Johnny Depp, the Rittenhouses, the lead up. Like recently, if you go to Super Chats, you can actually see that in the last 7 days, it's been $456. And I think there was a bit of an uptick on his most previous stream. Like you can actually see, look, see here. So stream on the 27th, $69. Stream on the 26th, $40. Stream on the 25th, $50. These are not the amounts that he used to be making. He's making basically less than an average person would just working a day job. Now, he said in the past that he doesn't need to get the money from YouTube. And some people have assumed that this is because he has a trust fund or something. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Certainly, his grandparents were very rich. And when I say rich, I mean like oil rich, like tens of millions of dollars rich. But does he actually have access to this money? We don't know, but we can assume that there's some sort of trickle down. Maybe they bought his house or something. We don't know about that. He has a contract with Rumble. I'm not sure how valuable that is, honestly. Like, I'm not convinced that Rumble is a very successful company yet. A lot of people like Rumble, absolutely. But he doesn't have the pool that he used to have, and he just renegotiated his contract. Like, he doesn't have to do the Rumble switch anymore. He can do it if he wants to. How much is he being offered? The numbers on Rumble as well are very suspect. Like, when I go over to Rumble stream, I will see his stream and it says like 500 people are watching. There's like no movement in chat. I'm not sure how they record live numbers, but I think that like Rumble has something strange where it's like if you've watched the stream in the last hour, it counts you as a live viewer. He had a contract. I mean, he's probably got a new contract in some way, but what does that contract mean? It could be just like he gets premium ad revenue or something. I don't know. Why was he arrested? He was arrested under drug possession charges and also possession of a firearm or ammo as a user of a controlled substance. I assume that this, like I said, like it's kind of tricky for me to know because I'm not a lawyer and it's probably unlikely that any lawyers will weigh in. But I assume that this is something that gets tacked on if you're basically high or if you have drugs and also own a gun. Because I assume owning a gun is legal for him in Minnesota, as he is an American. But if you've got a gun and you're just high off your rocker, I guess that's maybe not the case. He was arrested for bad jokes. Well, some of those jokes were criminal, so that is true. That is a 100% guilty plea. Figures April was with him. Yeah, it was. It's an enhancement thing. Okay, so apparently it's an enhancement. I'll have to take you at your word there. Let me see. Hold on a second. Just reply to something. There we go. There we go. So yeah, it looks like the leading theory. Oh, look, the leading theory in the poll was actually that Aaron is the one that dobbed him in. Yeah, April was, all the theories that April was at the house is confirmed. Like, absolutely. She was at the house at the time. You can't be a licensed gun owner and a controlled substance user. Well, I mean, if he's convicted of the drug charges, then he won't be able to hold a gun, right? Like, is this being convicted as a? I guess I don't know. I guess it could be a misdemeanor if he gets a good lawyer. Hopefully not Rendaza, because Rendaza hasn't been doing very good so far. I need to make MLS in the chat a mod so I can see his comments. All right, we're kind of just reading the chat now. Check the disposition of the girl above Kayla. Hers was a gross misdemeanor and got 2 months. Is that true? This one? Autumn Rose. That's a nice name. 20-year-old. 5th degree drug charges. I'm not gonna dig into Autumn Rose. She's got her own problems. Are roses an autumn flower though? Like, I don't know. But we'll get rid of that for now. It's true. If MLS was a member, I could see chats easily. PewDiePie making fun of Japan video when? What? I don't know. Can you fix her? No, I can't fix her. No, I'm not. I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one to somebody else. Be sure to like the stream, by the way. It does help out the things, even though this is a sad thing to report. I think people are just like waking up now. What the fuck happened to the Pope? They got him. Have Sean weigh in? I think Sean's still like some people think that like Sean doesn't like Nick. I think Sean does like Nick, but he's in that weird space where it's like you see a friend doing destructive behavior and you can't like you want them to do better, but you don't want to do anything worse for them. But I mean, Sean's opinions are his own. He can comment on it if he wants to. If he doesn't want to, then I'm not going to put words into his mouth. Simple drug possession. The problem, Brandon, is that it's not just simply possession. He's on stream. He is almost always, as far as I can see, completely high off his rocker. Like, how do you explain this sort of attitude, like looking like this on stream? And it's not that he's just in possession of these drugs. It seems like him, his wife, and their hot wife nanny chick is also in the house. Like, they have 5 kids. They've got 5 kids in the house. And Aaron from the Steel Tone Morning Show was saying that the reason he doesn't want to hang out with Rekieta anymore is because he was doing drugs in front of the children. Now, what does that mean? Like, I mean, me and my cope splaining, I would say, well, maybe he just popped like a gummy bear with, like a CBD gummy bear in his mouth while the kids are around as they were going to bed or something. Maybe that's what he means. And some people saying, no, like, no, it's surely it's like, he's like doing coke or something. No, I didn't think that was the case. But I don't know, like, the problem is, basically everything I've been saying to myself for the last few days, like, no, this is a meme. He's not actually wanking. It's a DSP reference. They talked about DSP during that show. Surely this it's all like retroactively. I'm just like, well, I guess I was wrong. I don't think Legal Bites will want to talk to me. I very much doubt that, considering I've called her snake bites many, many times before. Aaron definitely knocked on him. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, Aaron seems like a bit of a drama boy. Like, he seems to be that kind of guy. But this is an absolute Aaron W. Like, if you're getting divorced to this chick and she gets arrested, you're like, surely you just sit there saying, oh man, couldn't always be this easy. Seems like Drexel saw the wall. I think Drexel said he was going up to Nick's house very soon, actually. I think he just hasn't been around. Get Ron Toye on. That's the sad thing. Like, again, this is like, You used to be able to look at people like Ron Toye and say, what a piece of shit. Threw a remote at his wife, threatened a judge's kid. Like, what a piece of shit. And when you have the moral high ground, you can make all the jokes, all the fun you want. But now, how different, like, how do I know if you're doing all these drugs that he's not doing worse, right? People do weird shit on, like, you're not yourself. Max is a practicing Minnesota lawyer. Get him on. Max will have his chance later tonight in approximately 11 hours. I'll be back with my Friday stream. Should be an interesting one. Get Max on. We'll see. If you want to see Max on, you can put a 1 in chat. I don't know about that. I'll open this one up. There we go. It's probably better to keep on screen. There we go. The black guy was Sam Hyde. He can't keep getting away with it. Honestly, you can't keep getting away with it. So is April actually like? Hold on a second. April. Oh, she's 29. Okay. Okay, so she's 29. She's 11 years younger, or like 13 years younger than them. Interesting. They look rough. I mean, nobody looks good in a mugshot. Let's be honest. April has a criminal history. I don't know anything about Steel Toe or April or anyone. If she does, I guess. I heard she was a bit of a bunny boiler. Like, again, this is like, now we're kind of delving into like he said, she said rumors and things. But I did hear that April was a homewrecker and that she kind of, I mean, you can't really say that she did it because Aaron was responsible, right? April, like, so Aaron, I guess, broke up or cheated on his wife with April, and then they got together, which is never the good start to a relationship, of course. Like, if any relationship begins with cheating, ends with cheating, as they say. The black eye in Pablo Dia, his wife, yeah, that's what happened. His wife, himself, and also their third-party person. This actually kind of reminds me because I think it was, who was it? Was it Nova? Nova leaked some DMs with Farron of Farron Balanced, and the effect of the text was that Nick was drunk messaging Farron saying that they're into swinging, and I was like saying to myself, this is probably like drunken talk where you will say like, oh, hey, look, my wife is starting to wondering about, maybe fooling around or something, maybe he was just saying this to like kind of maybe get some nudes or something out of her or something like that. But it seems like in retrospect, like if I want to be objective about this, a lot of my opinions were cast by the fact that I just like Nick, or I liked Nick. And I was saying, no, there's a way to explain this. There's a way to explain this. It's a literal copium. But if I went to an objective, if I took an objective person, I said, this person has DM leaks saying that they're swinging. They're going to Hedonism 2, which is a swinger resort. There's all of these jokes going on about hand jobs, and there's slurpy noises on the thing. What conclusion would you come to? You come to the conclusion that he's probably just swinging, which is really frustrating, because I think like one of the reasons I think that Nick was so popular is he was kind of, and this is I think a theory that probably came from the farms or something, but there's like a white pill theory, and that's that like you see this person that is a very rare occurrence, and that is a family man, he's got a good job, he's got a home, he's got 5 kids. He's a regular guy, but he's on the internet, and he's like me. And he enjoys a drink, and he laughs at dumb people that are trying to get Vic Mignogna convicted on anime charges or whatever. And you take solace in that fact, right? You say like, at least this still exists. At least you can still have a family in a countryside and be a normal guy, but also have a bit of fun. So that's the white pill. You start to believe that that what you want can exist, like having the family, the farm, the white picket fence, everything. And you're like, oh, that's a source of comfort. But then you have this downward spiral. And I think that's why a lot of people are now changed from fans to detractors, is that they feel that they were betrayed. They were sold one thing, and it wasn't true. It was maybe it was a lie from beginning. Who knows? I don't think it was always a lie though. I think it used to be true. I think it used to be like that, but then maybe power. And when I say power, I mean like fame. Fame goes to your head. You start making a bunch of money. You start getting a lot of attention, and all of a sudden, you start to act differently, and you start chasing these sort of highs and pleasure. And as a streamer, you have this allowance to do so. Like people talk about like the difficulties of streaming. Streaming is a much easier job than say working in a factory, but there are your own difficulties, and those difficulties are if you don't work, if you don't get up and do it, if you don't turn on the stream, you don't make any money. But then you have all this free time where you've kind of it's weird. It kind of like doing live content or doing internet content kind of drains you in a weird way. It's like maybe like I could describe it. I mean, I don't know for anyone else, but for me, it's kind of like public speaking. You know, when you go up and you do a speech and maybe your mouth gets dry and you start to feel like this adrenaline, and after it's done, you feel like this wave of relief, but also like this weird fatigue. You haven't done like a physical job, you haven't lifted a bunch of shit, but you feel tired. And okay, Hassan. No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I'm going somewhere with this. Okay. What I'm saying is after you're left, like you turn off the stream lights, you feel this weird sense, and it's like you're hungry and you're thirsty, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll have a few drinks. And if you're getting like positive reinforcement in your stream, it's a kind of a virtuous circle, right? It is exhausting. It is soul draining, but not in the same way that it's an adrenaline crash. That's probably what it is. That probably is exactly what it is. Sorry, where was it? Oh shit, I can't. There it is. It's an adrenaline crash. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Is making 0 videos harder than making multiple videos? Sometimes, yes. Tell us how hard streaming is. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying it's hard in different ways, okay? Think about it. It is. It's like, is it easier than lifting boxes in a factory? Absolutely. But there are different challenges. Like, for example, if you have a regular job, you can go in, you can kind of, phone it in. You can have lazy days. You don't have to talk to your coworkers. If you feel shit, you just don't talk to anyone. You maybe, you get your coffee, you go to your desk and you just do the hours. Then you go home and you stop. But when you're doing like a stream sort of thing, it's almost like you're always in the office. It's called work purgatory, because you always think like, oh, maybe I should do more. Okay, you guys are roasting me. All right, fair enough. But you do get, like, what I'm trying to say though, the point I'm trying to get to, very roundabout, is that you have this extra free time and this weird gap in yourself that you're trying to fill. And some people fill it with alcohol, some people fill it with drugs, some people fill it with spending time with their families, with constructive things. At least one person in the chat agrees with me. That's nice. So it's 600 to 1. 600 to 1. Your life sounds so hard. All right. You're completely missing the point. Completely missing the point. But it's fine. Just go smoke some weed. Can't do that in Japan. Weed is a Schedule 1 drug in Japan. So I can't. I've never done weed. My brother does that, though. Yeah. What can chat do to make your life easier from streaming? You could give me more money. That would be very nice. But no, it's fine. You don't have to do anything. Just watching along, liking the stream is just fine. All right, let me see. I'll go through some of the chats that I've missed. The American Beauty shit has been very weird. Yes, it has. American Beauty is a very mid film, and it's got some very creepy implications. And I remember watching, I've only seen American Beauty on a plane, and I think it deserved to be on a plane. That's what I'll say about American Beauty. Let me see. Read that one. There's a GoFundMe for the bail. Please don't. The real April. Come on now, you guys. Oh, no. $2 Canadian. Okay. You can't be the real April if you're in Canada. I mean, Minnesota is next to Canada, though. But I'll have to see. I don't think there is a GoFundMe, though. That would be pretty quick. Marhouse says for 21 months. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, take a look at Country Pen Lawsplaining once again. I'm so excited. Oh, there we go. And Guyvermectin with $5 says, it's for your social battery. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. No, but like it is a different job. So someone in the chat was saying before, like, does Nick have a black eye? Yes, he does. You can see it here. I would hope that this is just from walking into a door frame or something, and not from actual domestic abuse. But it is weird. Check Discord. Okay, I'll check Discord. All right. We'll take a look at this. All right. So this is Aaron. How do you say his last name? Imholte? I'll just say Aaron. So this is the husband / I guess ex-husband or divorce in process husband of April, who was arrested at the Rekieta's residence with the drugs as well. Aaron confirms first ex-wife didn't want April driving kids. No showing for HRO with
clients right now too.
Way in control. You know,
doesn't he have clients right now too?
Oh, he's not
a lawyer.
No, he's not an actual lawyer.
Oh, he's not?
April and I used him to fix her speeding ticket, and the two of them couldn't even show up for fucking traffic court.
So Nick is a real lawyer, but he's not a practicing lawyer. That is a distinction that should be made, okay, guys? But it is very embarrassing if the first court case that you have in like 2 years is like helping, I guess, your lover / friend out of a traffic ticket, and you don't even show up. I think it was like a Zoom. Wasn't it like a Zoom court case as well? You can't even show up to a Zoom call.
I mean, Jesus Christ. April and I, had an HRO meeting with my lawyer about the stuff my ex-wife was doing. My ex-wife didn't, let's just say didn't want certain people driving the children. And I show up for that because I was like, all right, let's get this over with, blah, 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 the whole deal. And she didn't show up for that. So, like... It's frustrating.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
It is.
99% of lawyers don't practice. That's true. Like a lot of lawyers just get a law degree and they work on like corporate counsel, things like that, advisors, and some people just get law degrees just as their first degree. Well, I guess you'd have to in America. You have to get a 4 degree. In America? Correct me if I'm wrong. You have to get a 4-year degree, and then you do your then you'll do your law degree after. So I guess it would be a second degree.
He looks a damn mess. It's sad, really, but also, you know what?
You reap what you sow. The problem is the guy, like, we always get to that point with people where we go, oh, it's really sad. But then we go, but if they're not going to admit they have a problem, can you really feel that sorry for them? This guy will come onto his stream. He will probably say something snide about me because he can't help himself, in which case... I guess So
there was one thing that actually kind of was really, I found it almost like more shocking than the I guess infidelity allegations, is that Nick is always kind of projected like a persona of like, like calm, collected. If you don't want to be his friend, fine, peace, brothers, that sort of thing. But Aaron has been saying that in his DMs with Rekieta, he was saying that that Nick was telling him to like off himself. He's like, the world would be better without you. Just like rope yourself, essentially, which is a very different from his public persona of where he was saying like, hey, if you don't want to be my friend, then that's fine. I'll just go my own thing, do my own thing. I've always considered Nick to be a very earnest and a real person, but was it an act all along? It kind of makes you question in retrospect, right? I guess you really never know who someone is. I like to think that the Nick that I used to watch, like the old Nick, as people's like, I miss the old Nick sort of thing. I like to think that he was that person and he was corrupted over the last couple of years, like via drugs or fame. And like fame, power, like social power is the most powerful drug in the human mind. Like it's worse than cocaine. Having like, and they test this in like chimps and everything. Like having social power is the most addictive thing. That's why people say that power corrupts. What is the old saying? Like absolute power corrupts absolutely. when you get this sort of, it's like it is an actual social drug. And when you start to lose it, that's why a lot of YouTubers go crazy. Like when you have like a big YouTuber like iDubbbz or someone who used to have millions of views, and now he's getting like, I don't know, tens of thousands of views, which is nothing terrible, right? But like it's a far cry from what it was. You start to literally go insane. You go into withdrawal. Power just exposes who you really are. I guess it's a bit like alcohol in that way. The Dear John stuff. Yeah, the Dear John stuff. I think for me, the Dear John stuff was really quite disturbing. So when he was like talking about a guy that was like thinking about jumping off a building or something, that was just even bringing that, like talking about that was very, very disturbing. Be wary of the trappings of e-fame. Well, my chat is always constantly making fun of me, so like I don't think I'll ever get the same effect, because they're constantly telling me how lazy I am and, and how bad I am. So I don't think I have to worry. They keep me down. It's fine. They keep me honest in a certain way as well. They keep me honest. I do think like my chat is a little bit abrasive, because I like to keep an open chat policy where basically you can say anything, just don't be annoyed. Just don't harass people except for me, and don't do anything against terms of service is basically my policy. And don't spam, because that's shit. But because of that, my chat is a little bit spicier. You know, some people have complained that my chat is mean. People called me a bad word. Like, yeah, sometimes being called a bad word keeps you from doing weird shit. My chat made fun of me for drinking too much, and I stopped drinking as much. It actually socially affected me. Holy shit, 666 viewers. That's the sign. That's the evil sign. Nice podcast, stupid. For $5 says, Aram Emerholt is a hero. He definitely phoned this one in. Thank you for ending this madness and protecting the kids. Not a steel toe fan, but respect. I'm not sure it was, I don't know, like, now the poll's up to 32% saying it was Aaron. I don't know, like, Aaron kind of strikes me as the man who would do this to get revenge. Because, like, people have been sending him clips of, like, hey, dude, your wife is being, like, is sucking off this dude. And apparently he was, like, he read that live and he started tearing up, like having tears in his eyes. So I absolutely could see him as wanting to get revenge. And if he knew they were doing drugs, it'd be very simple for him to do it. But would he do it? I don't know. I don't know enough about him. Apparently the Steel Show has its own group of A-logs, which is now, it's like a crossover episode or something. So maybe they could tell you more about that. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I think for me, it's a random A-log, because there is just so many people that are watching. And when I say so many, I mean like thousands of people that are watching, and it only takes one person to call it in. I think just by sheer numbers, it would be just a random person. But it definitely could be Aaron. Was there a little bit more left of this clip?
Can't help himself, in which case, I guess we can hear more.
And you've done nothing. You haven't said a word about him.
Other than he needs fucking help, and he told me to
Right.
K myself. I mean, just stuff that's happened.
Is it?
Yeah, so, like, I think that Aaron from Steel Toe is going on with the Kino Casino maybe today or tomorrow. And he might be dropping the text. Like, he might be dropping all the deets. All of these spicy things. And Aaron has implied that there is a lot of... Like, Aaron has implied that he has, you know, done Rekieta's wife on the couch, essentially. And he says he has proof of this. Is he just stirring shit? I don't know. It's possible that he does have the evidence of that. Nulla's also tonight. Oh, yeah, it's going to be anyone that loves drama, which is everybody, by the way. Anyone that says they hate drama doesn't really hate drama. They just don't like being caught in drama. Everybody, like, every human loves drama in some way, just not about themselves. Anyone, like, that's the real thing, is that if someone says they hate drama, first of all, people that say they hate drama always happen to be in drama for some reason. Kind of weird how that happens. But anyone that says that they hate drama, what they mean is they hate it when people talk about them. They love it when everyone else is being talked about. But it's like human. There's something about drama that is like candy for the human brain. Feed it to my veins. Exactly. Everybody loves drama. Just not about them. Nobody likes being talked about. Reading news is just global drama. Exactly. Exactly. Let me see. Let me see.
Hey, baby boy.
But yeah, like I assume that all the DMs will come out now. And if Nick actually told Aaron to go kill himself, that's pretty crazy. I can't actually imagine Nick saying that. I like to believe that he's bigger than that. But I mean, there are leaked texts. Like there was this leaked text of him. I guess I should show this. And like, it's kind of weird because you look back at these things. And it kind of frames everything differently. Where was the? I'm sure I have to. The chat's moved too fast. Hold on a second. It was these leaked. This is like one of them that was leaked from, I guess, Perception Check. This is a while ago. So this is January 11th. So this is over a year ago. So it might frame some. It might put the attitude into a different frame. Let's see. I changed slowly over 4 years, more rapidly over the last year. This is by Nick. This is Nick saying, by the way. This is how my brain works. 3 years is about what you get. Then I want to do something else. The past year, I went too fast, I guess. And instead of people peacefully churning. So what he means here is that, like in a stream, you typically get fans that come, they join, they change. And that's like the churn of live viewers. It happens to every channel. Instead of people peacefully churning as they had in the past, they decided to save my soul and the soul of the chat. This is when all the local stuff was going on. So like the wine mums from the Johnny Depp trial, they were posting all the asses in chat. This is pretty close to Bottlegate, I suppose. In doing so, they've sucked the joy out of it and bullied my wife to get to me. That's Alyssa, specifically, by the way, and more than a few members of the Discord. Truly hideous fucking people. I would have helped any of these people in a heartbeat. Now I hope they die. Unironically, fuck them. I talked about working my whole life for independence. Now I have a bunch of bosses who all disapprove of that and want to control it in various ways. It's great, a true joy. So instead of being authentic, I get to play pretend. You can't do this and let people in. So basically he's coping about he was having too much fun in locals, and they thought that the locals community was like a private thing that, like, as if nobody who had $5 couldn't see it or something. But they were posting a lot of nudes, a lot of spicy stuff in the locals, and people were like, "Hey, aren't you married with 5 kids? Maybe you should tone this down." And then it's like, "Okay, fun police can't have my cake and eat it too." Where was I? I get to play pretend. You can't do this and let people in. Despite so many people saying they love authenticity, there are enough people who hate it that you have to put on an act. So that's what I do. One style of parasocial relationship wins over the others because one seeks so desperately to control me that I will attack my business and family, whether you specifically endorse it or not. It is control, censorship, and cancel culture. Does it occur to you all that this is the stuff that people used against Vic? People don't approve of his parasocial interactions either. He's innocent, or consensual interactions with people get twisted into something that they weren't. It frankly blows my mind away that the audience did the same thing. And then Perception Check responds, it occurs to me that this is a different kind of parasocial relationship, not a friendship, a dysfunctional one. At that, I should not be so invested in someone I don't honestly know. I won't say anything publicly. I'm just going to walk away. I guess he leaked this DM, so he didn't quite do that. But now what's happening here? I don't actually think that, like, people criticizing you for being an idiot is not necessarily trying to control you. They're just like, whoa, buddy, this is a bit much. It's like, I don't think that's people trying to control you. Now, anytime you have one person on the internet that likes you, one person dislikes you. If you have 2 people on the internet that have seen your stuff, one of them hates you. That's just the way it works. So there are absolutely people that would like send his wife messages to try and get him in trouble, that sort of stuff. Absolutely. But I think that the majority of the people that he's complaining about here are actually his earnest fans, or at least they were fans. They're people that are actually, they saw the show, they liked it, and they were concerned. They saw where it was going. And unfortunately, the friends that are close to him apparently couldn't tell him this as well. Like that's when we had that one with the Dragon's Treasure, the downfall of Nick Rekieta, the man that helps you know, like this is a friend, or I guess an adjacent person. It's pretty close. I think Dragon's Treasure would be pretty close to being a friend. Like they had a kind of a business relationship, but they met in real life as well. It seems like the people around Nick should have done something, should have told him something, but maybe he's just so oppositional and defiant that he can't take their advice, or he doubles down. I don't know. Even Ethan Ralph didn't decline this fast. I'm not sure if that's the truth, But this is something I would expect more from Ralph than from Nick. Let me see. Where was I? Yeah, what's wrong? Don't need that one. Here we go. This is definitely. I used to watch him. The Downward Spiral was sad to watch. Stopped watching him well over a year ago. I think that's kind of like a turning point for a lot of people. I think around it. It's about a year ago. I'm actually kind of like thinking about what happened. I think for me, it was the end of the Johnny Depp trial. So the Johnny Depp trial was a lot of work. Like you can say, oh, streaming. He was doing a lot of hours. Although, to be fair, not as many hours as the people actually working in that case. So there you go. But he was doing a lot of hours streaming the Johnny Depp trial, and then he took a vacation. It seems like that vacation is when everything changed, I think. The end of the Johnny Depp trial. I'm not a Kiwi, you guys. I'm not from New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand. There's a difference. Okay? I'm from Australia. Come on now. He actually looks pretty good in that mugshot. Yeah, he looks better than he did on the stream, at least. But that's the thing, is like there's a low resolution cameras. So like if you go back and watch the old streams of Nick, he is younger. But he looks a lot better because he's using like a webcam rather than like a Sony, an expensive Sony camera, which shows a lot more detail. He's wearing the Jamaica. Oh, is he actually wearing the Jamaica vest? He is. He's wearing the hedonism Jamaica vest. You can't make this stuff up. Oh man. Angry Whiskers with 10 Canadian dollars says, I think that Nick said he hates puns, but thank you, Meme Copium, for helping me cope with this news using your kind voice. It's best I heard it from you instead of meaner internet people. Yes. Like, I mean, what can you do? All you can do is kind of laugh, but again, like this doesn't. I literally was saying to myself, because people have been asking me to talk about him for a while. And I was like, no, I'm recusing myself of this as someone who used to like his show a lot, really liked his show. I think that for me to talk about this would be very weird. It'd be a strange thing. It's like, and then I actually literally said this in the Discord. So people can like fact check this. I was like, I think I said, I'm not doing a show on Nick unless he does something crazy, like shoots up a group of people or something. Well, this is pretty, not quite the same, but it got to the point where it was just like, come on now, man. Come on now. Such a kind and gentle soul. Yes, I'm the kindest and most gentle person. Was this? I think this is literally like an hour or two ago. This came up. I think the first reports. What's your Discord? The Discord is for members only. So you can join as a member, and I'll post a link out to the Discord. Or if you get gifted a membership, you can also join. It's like a one-time membership you can get in there. Divinity said, "That's someone I haven't seen for a long time." It's like, wait, what happened to you and Madcore? Like, you guys do any videos, or you just move on with like the Clippers? The Clippers are going to rise up and take over now. Largest crowd ever. I suppose it is. I think this is actually my largest stream. That's kind of crazy. You better put this towards the next van trip. The van trip thing, like, so I don't know if I can talk about this just yet, but like, so BP's got to go to Australia in summer, and I've seen where he's going, and it's very funny because it's the worst place you could possibly go. But I don't know if I want to reveal it. So I have to ask Matt Core in the chat. It's getting the band back together. You thinking about being a drama streamer now? No. I don't think. I just stream about things that are important or interesting to me. What? Streamers are done? What do you mean? No, I mean the streamers are rising up. The Clippers, sorry. The Clippers are gonna rise up. They're back. They were lying low for a while, but now they're coming back. Alyssa was holding up the fort, and now they're all going to come back. Who knows? It's a renaissance of the clipping and memes. Hey, look, got some Madcore fans in the chat too. They're like, see, this is kind of an example of like, I think like there's an entire group of like 5-10 people that kind of just rose up kind of adjacent to the LawTube space. And Rekieta is largely responsible for that. And a lot of some of those people went back to their real lives, or they went on with their own streaming careers, and they did very well, sort of thing. And now to be here, it's such a strange thing. And MLS says, for $10 dues for the van. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I blame April. No, like you've got to take your responsibility for your own actions. As I've said a bit earlier, Nick has been admitted to escapism, and he said this a long time ago when he said that he had to sell his EverQuest account or whatever it was. And if you know that you're addicted to escape, like drugs, alcohol, and video games are all forms of escapism. And if you know you have a weakness to this, you shouldn't lead in. You shouldn't be around these things. And I think that is like, I've seen a lot of like, there's a lot of like headcanon, a lot of people like theorizing various things about why this would be, right? I think that ultimately the people it just leads into an unhappiness in your own life, and perhaps like the grass is greener on the other side, sort of thing. So like you have kids early, you have a family early, and you start to wonder about, hey, could I have been like a star if I had stayed single? Could I have been like banging all the groupies, sort of thing? And you start to yearn for that path not taken. But it's kind of a trap. Like people that go into those sort of like those like solo life where they just like, yeah, they've got the fame, they've got everything you think that you want, the money, fame, the women, the power. Those sort of people always just want the family, because it's such a destructive lifestyle. Lawyers are scum, all of them think they can break the law. Look, some I assume are good people. You know, Kurt is going to bail out April now. I guess she's single, so April was being groomed by Nick. You can't groom an adult. Like this like forever adolescence thing is stupid. You can't groom an adult. If anything, she was just like a wild firecracker that that they incorporated into their throuple or whatever it is. Does somebody said in chat that Legal Mindset was going to do a stream about this? I don't know if that's true or not, but he may do one. He's certainly someone that is fine with, you know, calling a spade when his friends do something stupid. Max is like twice as old as me. How could I possibly? Well, that might be an exaggeration. Max is actually old enough to be my father. How could I possibly groom Max? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. She's 29. Yeah, she's 29. It's fine. It's fine. I think that's. He tweeted he would stream. Oh, let me check on that. Let me see. I assume that Andrew would take more of a neutral stance and just talk about the actual legal issues. So that would be a very interesting stream. Hold on, let's see. Is he going to go live soon? He's going to go. So let's see. I don't see it. I don't see it so far. Was it a response to a stream or something? Oh, okay. Okay, here it is. I found it. So so it started with that umbrella guy. So Tug, that umbrella guy, says, Nick Rekieta has been arrested. It's like I said yesterday, he's crashing and people will cheerlead you to the bottom. I hope he gets his shit sorted. His kids are number one, and his kids are number one, safe, and two, doesn't have an impact on them having them. If he needs rehab and help, plenty of people will. Yeah, I still think there's a pretty big community around him that'll help him. And then Camelot responded, I think in all honesty, it's been apparent for a while now. A ton of people have distanced themselves. It's pained me to watch the last few months, but it's over now. Don't dogpile. Let our brother heal and focus on himself. And then if you scroll down, where is it? There you go. Legal Mindset says, I didn't want to have to do a stream on this, but unfortunately, I will have to. So I guess there is a Legal Mindset stream coming up about this. Like I said, I assume that he would talk more about the legal implications. Montegraph. Is that the real Montegraph? Is that actually the real Montegraph? Your live streams have been jumping. Congrats on that. There's no way. There's no way that's the real Monty. Is it? Now, this is kind of a feature that you don't have as a viewer, but like I can actually go to the channel and see if it's the real Montegraph. But where to go? Where to go? Oh shit, it's disappeared now. I can't find it. I've got it highlighted in StreamYard, but I can't find it. in the thing. I can go like go to their channel. See, go to channel. So if Monty says something again, I'll check if that's the real Monty. I guess we could ask Monty how he thinks. If it's the real Monty, I could ask how his court case is going. It's Monty. Just kind of wild. Alucard, welcome to member. As soon as the stream ends, I'll post a new link to the Discord so that anyone that joins as a member or has been gifted a membership for this show can get in and you can join the Discord. And we've got a little small community over there. We just talk about shit and post memes and stuff. Brandon Lesko with $5 says Max has been groomed wrong time ago. Oh, wrong time, I say. Max has been groomed wrong time ago. Many moons. Now deal with Autist Kiwi's old dog cage. There you go. There you go. Honestly, like, this is a dub for the Monty team, for Team Monty. It's kind of sad. Potentially Criminal in the chat says, I'll be covering this live at 9:30 p.m. How? Sean, I'll send you the link. If you want to come in and say hi and talk about what you're going to talk about, maybe talk about your show. Or if your show's starting soon, I can stream right into you. Let me see. If you want to jump in. Monty says it's really him. Monty, would you like to come on and tell me about your court case? And if you want, you don't have to, obviously, but if you would like to come on, jump on and say hi, maybe tell people how the defense is going. I assume you're pretty happy right now. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I don't think I can keep this. You cannot? Okay, that's probably for the best. You should never really come on and talk about court cases. But I assume that that's true. Actually, Monty, you did defame me. You accused me of being a lawyer. Accused me of being a lawyer. That's not true. I am not a lawyer. In fact, I think I still have that clip. Like, holy shit, is this still here?
He also got some great lawyers in there. Let's see. Meme Copium. That's a good lawyer that he got in there. Cool Frog, Madcore Mofo.
That's a flashback. Holy shit. That's when I was subscribed to Monty mails. So Monty would send out emails to a bunch of people. Ask my attorney, David Schneider. Yeah, there you go. I think we're probably looking at like October, I think, for the results of it. That's going to be interesting. Let's see. I'll get through some of these chats, I got to say. Marissa, new member. Thank you very much for joining. Much appreciated. Eva Blank says 48-hour stream now. No, we might do another 24-hour stream eventually, but not right now. Not right now. But like, if I promise a 24-hour stream, I will deliver on it. You can guarantee that. Angry Whiskers. Maybe the arrest helps Nick's escape editions, but this timeline feels awful. I also love Nick. Also, I think I heard Meme's name on Nick's stream. Yeah, he's mentioned me once or twice. Like I've talked to him before, but I've never been on his show or anything like that. He seems pretty nice in person, but he's kind of like feel like he's always on. Like he's always just telling another, like the next joke. Like there's no chill, sort of thing. Where do Nick's babies come from? I assume from his nutsack. I mean, he's all got white children, right? Let me see. Let me see there. All right. So if Sean is starting his stream, let me see if I can find. Go to YouTube. And let's see. And potentially criminal Sean. Potentially Sean. Let's see if anyone's got a live stream link. Looks like no, they don't have it just yet. So Sean is live in half an hour. Then, in that case, I will wait up a little bit for Sean. We'll wait at least until Sean goes live, shall we? If it's thanks for promising me a 24-hour stream. I'll do a 24-hour stream when I get 24,000 subscribers. How about that? That seems like a nice, easy promise to make. that anyone could hold. Oh, there we go. Sean's up. Welcome to the stream, Sean. How's it going? You're muted. You are still muted. I can unmute you if you want, but oh, there you go.
Okay. Hey, how are you doing?
Not so good, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I fucking step away for a little while and fucking world melts down while I'm out doing normie things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh yeah, just go and do lawyer shit today, and go to court and stuff, and then just.
What time is it in Hawaii? In Ohio right now?
In Ohio, it is 8:55 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So my stream should be up now. By the way, I just
okay.
Yeah. So
Say, do you want to give us a brief? I guess what you're going to go over today.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk about Nick. I'm not going to sit here and mock him, but just what he's facing, what he's been charged with, kind of what process is going to go. That's one of the things. We've got Julian Assange is actually being able to fight his extradition, which is going to be really good. So if people were worried about him, that's going to change. There's also for Scotty Scheffler, the golf pro, the #1 golfer in the world who was fucked with by the cops. We're now learning that the cops didn't do the things the right way, and there's new video that basically vindicates him, and he scuffed the cop's tampon. That's why he got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying, yes, it happened, but he's still he's innocent until proven guilty, guys. I mean, even though we know what we know and we know a little more about it, it is what it is there. A couple other things, just covering what's going on with Diddy. His drug mule got diversion, so Diddy's really screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the funnier things, a guy in Taiwan, one of their members of parliament, hacked the so they're getting ready to vote on something, and he steals the legislation off the table before they vote on it, and that was his way of stopping the vote. And I'm like, that dude just hacked democracy. He found the glitch in the matrix. And then there's a couple other things we're talking about, but obviously Nick is going to be one of the primary things.
So I guess a bit of a bit of a preview. So when they write down, so it says drugs, 5th degree possession schedules 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this mean that he had all of those drugs, or they're just assuming they just find a bunch of drugs?
That's when it says that. That's going to be, if you look at the statute, it'll if you go to here, I'll bring it up. That it says if you have anything in schedule 1, 2, 3, or 4, that could be.
Because I assume when I was looking at the drug schedules, it kind of surprised me that marijuana is listed as a Schedule 1 drug.
It
seemed to apply when I was reading those statutes.
Marijuana is still Schedule 1 in the United States.
That's weird.
So here, if you do you have did you share it yet? Here's the thing. It says possession and other crimes. A person is guilty of a controlled substance crime in the 5th degree, and upon conviction may be sentenced, provided if the person unlawfully possessed one or more mixtures containing a controlled substance. See classified section 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that's why it says possession 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not like he had all 3 of those or 4 of those, but he had at least one of them in those 4 categories. Now that doesn't mean he didn't have more or didn't have a mixture. I mean, nowadays, basically, Jerry Kyle, so he's arrested with weed. Nah, I doubt it. And then Mr. Potato says tacking on the gun charge is bullshit. If you have drugs in a house and you have a gun with you and the guns are under your control, they're going to hit you with it. That's just how it do. That's how it do. But I mean, obviously, from that stream earlier this week, obviously we know it probably wasn't weed.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
hold on one second.
Yeah, no worries. Danny out of the chat as well. How's it going, Danny?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, there's so much we don't know. What did they find? How did they find it? Was it a search warrant? Did they find it? Did anybody admit to anything?
I assume that some A-log sent the clips in to the cops and it's they're like, look, this guy is obviously messed up. He's got 5 kids, sort of thing. Some people are saying, I had a poll, people are saying 33% say that Aaron called it in. I don't know.
I mean, he could have.
I mean, sure, absolutely could have, but I think
that's one that would make sense because he would be able to call and say with particularity, I know what's going on in this house. Now, I mean, if the police and Kaneohe County, I think that's where he lives, right? In Minnesota, where, Yoderville County, Minnesota. If they got a welfare check, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it could have literally just been a welfare check, and then they both
but then they show up and say,
like,
"Hey, sir, how you doing? Fine. Have a good one." Close the door. They don't just get to barge in the house.
Yeah, but it's like if you come in at if you're like high off your rocker and you've got like a black eye and maybe he's just
but even then it's like I'm allowed to be intoxicated.
It's true, exactly right.
So that still doesn't matter. Now, like, it'd be one thing if Nick's got a black eye, that's not a big deal. But like if you open the door and like your wife's got black eyes, okay, then they're gonna be like, okay. But either way,
at least from the booking photos, it doesn't look like that.
What's that?
It looks like, at least from the booking photos, it doesn't look like either of the women have black eyes. They look fine.
Yeah, they look fine. I'm just saying, like, for a welfare check, it won't work like that.
Right.
Maybe there was a search warrant. Maybe like the guy he's buying drugs from got popped and somebody flipped. Aaron might have called. Who knows? But the idea that the idea some A-logs from the internet, like Shit Eater 3422, talked to the sheriff's office and like emailed him and said, "Look, this guy's doing drugs." Like they aren't like.
Yeah, and Nick's a streamer, so he's obviously had the police like show up his house before, and they know about him being a streamer, that people will try to mess with him, like calling in those sort of things.
And even if they, and here's the thing, even if they saw him on stream, like I don't know, I doubt it. I mean, maybe they would really have to show like. I just don't see that. I see like some sort of call happen. Maybe they were responding for service for another reason. Oh yeah, people are nose guarding for Shit Eater now, whoever he is. I don't know how it happened. I don't want to speculate because there's, a million things just from my own, like, dealing with criminal law. Like, I've had guys get busted for having like 50 grams of meth because he did a bunch of it and was howling outside in the middle of the street like a dog when the police rolled up. And then they checked his house and they found drugs everywhere. But I've also had it where like there's a domestic disturbance, angry neighbors, angry exes, angry people involved, like a million different ways this can happen. So
So like so Danny was in the chat and she says, on the legal side of things will depend on how Nick plays this. I worry about his history with the bar association.
I
mean, would that affect? I think
you don't think so, because
lawyers are allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to get like arrested for shit.
Well, he's allowed to be arrested. He hasn't been convicted. Certainly if there's bar license matters to him, most places will work with him on drug issues. That's not a new thing with lawyers doing drugs. And as far as like the rest of it goes, I mean,
but Nick doesn't need to practice as a lawyer though, because his income is purely from being online. Like obviously it would be a W for his detractors.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe not so much these days, but
not so much. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing. It becomes an issue of like, literally, this is a first-time offender with literally a lifetime of with compliance in the law. Like there's a lot of things this could
just speeding tickets and things like that.
This could easily become a diversion issue very quickly.
What is a diversion issue?
So like diversions, like here, stay out of trouble and this goes away. Go get treatment. This goes away.
Oh, okay, right.
There's a lot of intervention programs, things like that. There's a million different ways this could go. Like everybody's like, oh my God, Nick's gonna get raped to death in jail and making license plates.
No, I like
not happening. Not happening.
Yeah, I took a $20 bet saying he's going to stay out of jail. I assume that he get community service or a fine or something like that. He's not going to prison.
Staying in jail.
I wouldn't think so. Well, yeah, like maybe if he like mouths off to the cops or something, and then maybe let him sweat off in jail.
Just in general, what I will say is, it's very hard to get clean, especially even in a situation like this where you're highly stressed. So it's really hard to stay clean.
Doesn't look good for those 14 local streams though.
Well, yeah, there's that issue.
Yeah, we've still got 7 days left. He just needs to do 2 a day.
Maybe we can do, maybe he'll work with Securus, the phone company there. He could do like a 3-way local stream.
Oh, I suppose so, yeah.
With that being said, though, Josh, I got to get ready for tonight.
No worries. Thanks for jumping in.
Guys, we'll be live at 9:30. I know I'm not exactly null on Kino Casino, but we'll be covering this a little more. I'll kind of break down what I think.
Yeah, I'll keep going until you start, and then I'll stream right into you.
So, all right, I appreciate that.
So nobody misses out. You stream with me as well, so just paying back the favor.
Of course.
It's good to have you on. Even though,
guys, I'm not going to answer any goddamn questions till I see super berries. $20 minimum.
You've already got a couple super berries, it looks like. But thanks for weighing in.
Yes. Actually, Chad, I changed that back. I want to see so much red on the top of my screen. It looks like we're in Moscow for May Day.
Exactly.
Hey, chat. I'll see you guys there, and you know, if you have any other questions, Josh, I'd be happy to answer them as you guys go. But
Okay. I think
yeah,
I was just kind of curious
basically,
about those things.
likely
those
there
two
was
things.
some sort of drug or a mixture of one or two things, because nowadays basically everything is mixed.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, I'm
it's some kind
surprised
of nose
that he was
candy.
playing with
I would
what didn't have
assume.
some fat in it, actually, at this point. But
Mm-hmm.
that's something
It's weird because like drugs is so serious over in like Asia.
yeah,
Like marijuana is the same penalty as like cocaine or heroin or anything. Like, so you don't really see much drug use at all over here. Obviously, it does happen. Of course, it happens.
Yeah, Chugi, I'll answer this real quick. How's he not been
Okay.
charged for anything else? He's just been charged. He hasn't been formally, like, being arrested on a charge doesn't mean that's what you're ultimately facing. You might the complaint may be filed with more charges later. He's just being held on these right now. So there could be a million more charges.
I think my major concern would just be for like what's going to happen to the kids, because obviously
the
if there's
kids are likely
3 adults,
the children's services got involved. They contact like
Kayla's parents live pretty close to him, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They're like, who's the nearest people? They probably talk to Nick and Kayla, who's nearby. Or their kinship placement. That's how they always work. They go to are the relatives nearby who can handle them and take the kids. Yep, boom, boom, done. Mm-hmm. They probably held on to the kids for a little bit, maybe took them down.
I think some of his kids are older, like 16 or something.
Yeah, but still, they're going to take all those kids. Doesn't matter. You're all hopping in the van down to Children's Services.
Nice. What time is it in Minnesota, actually?
It's 8 o'clock.
A.M.?
P.M.
P.m.
It's an hour behind me, so.
Oh, okay. So this would have happened around in like 6, 7 o'clock, or maybe like 5.
It happened this morning around 11 a.m. from what we can tell. So the kids, but there would have been efforts to locate family. The kids are with family. They're not in okay. They're not in the, whatever stuff like that.
Well, there you go. Drex can watch the kids exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, I gotta hit the road, guys. I'll see you guys a little later.
Yep. I'll send everybody over to you in about looks like 22 minutes. We'll go.
All right. Thank you. I'll see you guys.
Right, no worries.
Bye.
All right. That was potentially criminal Sean. He is doing his, because he does a stream every week where he talks about legal topics. Nick Rekieta arrested, Taiwanese MP hacks democracy, Scotty Sheffer updates, and more. That's in 22 minutes. We'll go until then so we can help support Sean, as he has been a good friend of the stream and coming in with these legal topics and also just banter and stuff like that. So I guess we'll just hang out until then, chat, shall we? Let me see. If anyone wants to weigh in, now's your chance, as I'll be reading the chat. But I do thank you for that $5 as well. And hopefully your answer was sufficient from Sean. Now let me see. I think there was another thing from Danny that I missed. Can I search chat? She said something and I missed it. I sent you a link, Danny. I think you're in South Korea right now, right? I think you're in South Korea right now. Kids are going to stay with the family. And then there was another one that I saw, but the chat's moving a bit fast. I'm not used to this many people. Usually I have a very chill, small stream. Sean streams every night. Is he stream every night now? I thought he streamed like once a week. But I mean, recently he's been streaming for court cases, right? I've noticed those, but I'm not too interested in the court cases because they're just like not really applicable to me. But I know he does like a weekly law stream. I guess he's been doing court cases really well. Oops, sorry, wrong person. Pepsi Man says, get that money ready. Null pointed out on the casino that it's Memorial Day weekend, so he's going to be spending time in jail. Is it I guess it would be right. I figure that they would be out in less than 24 hours, but I mean, I just don't know. They might give them, it depends what the state they were taking in. Now, someone said that they were going to use a Freedom of Information Act to the cops to see if they can get the body cam footage. That is going to be really telling. I mean, it'll probably take weeks, if not months, to get that. But the body cam footage, if you have like an absolutely like tanked up Rekieta coming to the door sort of thing, that'll be pretty embarrassing. But we never know. We never know. Like if they were just like, if they just came, saw they were a little bit high or something, maybe they like arrested them, they'd probably get out within 24 hours. But if they're like really in the middle of like a massive coke session or something, like snorting lines of coke off of April's ass or something, maybe they let them sit through the weekend to let them cool off, detox a little bit, something like that. Court TV is going to roll with this one. I saw this earlier, but someone said like, I bet that Law and Crime is going to stream this. That would actually be very, very, very sad. Oh, not sad. That'd be very ironically terrible. Revenge. Yeah. He needs to have a bond hearing, which at the fastest is 72 hours. There's not enough time. I mean, maybe. I don't know enough about legal system. I'm not sure if that's the case, though. Like, they might make an exception or something. Who can say? Like, the law is a lot more fluid than I think people think it is. Yeah, Law and Crime is what you meant? Okay, winning. I understand what you meant. I know. I understand. That's what I thought. Legal Bites is going to do the trial stream. This kind of goes back to what I was saying, is like, retroactively, there's a lot of good things that Nick did. There was a lot of great streams where he dunked on a lot of really stupid people, like Sean the Shoe Eater, Ron Toye, that Duncan Keffel's ball scratcher, right? There were some absolute W's over these people. But now when you look back at them, like, they just get to sit back and laugh. And they say that he who laughs best. Is that going to be the case? Don't know. April has cursed private parts. What do you mean by that? Ken's Couchling Couch. Hey, I remember seeing Ken. You were on Rekieta stream a long time ago, right? Withdrawal from substance is awful but not deadly. Major exceptions are that alcohol, the DTs, can kill you, and high-dose benzos can be tricky. The rest will just feel like you'll die, but not. I assume he's not that dependent on alcohol. But there is like the detox drugs, right? They have. The police probably have access to that. If it gets really bad, they'll bring in some stuff. Bring in an expert or something, or a medical professional, I understand. Something. Sonichu curse is for reals. Oops. I keep missing the chats because people. It is true. Like, don't mess with the Sonichu medallion. Well, let's see if we bring that up. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay, I'll bring up the Sonichu clip for Max. Sonichu, there we go. Should be pretty easy to find, right? The dimensional merge is happening. Here we go.
I got to this anonymous letter or the anonymous package. It was postage not paid. Like, I had to pay the postage on it to receive it, and the post office like, well, where was it sent from? And it had my address as the return address with me as the sendee.
This is 7 months ago. This is 7 months ago. I thought this was like from 2 years ago or something.
Which is not true. And in it had this burned piece of paper, which I feel like I'm going to get serial rape here. It says, the stars are aligned. A new host is chosen. Hail unto thee, Nick Chan Rekieta. And then with that, came this, and this was so weird because this came before the mention of Sonic in the trademark dispute that we were talking about last night. A Sonichu medallion has been passed to me. I don't know where this came from.
Why would you accept postage for this? So somebody sends you something. Why would you accept postage on this? All right, hold on a second. Why would you accept postage on this one?
I don't know what it means other than what it means.
The Sonichu curse is literally real. It is literally real. Don't mess around with this shit, okay? You saw what happened. You saw what happened to Ralph when he dressed up as Chris Chan, and he was there. He was in close proximity to the goddess. Don't mess around with this shit. This is like you're playing with a Ouija board, and your grandma's like, "That's some bad shit. Don't do that." And you're like, "Oh, don't worry, Mom. No." You're inviting these bad juju, bad spirits into your house. Don't do it. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in spirits. Okay, I don't believe in the supernatural. But this one I do. But this is real. The shovel max will come for you.
That is
What the fuck is a Sonichu? Oh my sweet.
That happened. Child. It cost me $2 to pay the postage on it.
Dude, if you need more guns, just let me know. I'll send some.
Nick might not be having guns for much longer. How's it going, MLS?
Hey, not too bad. How we doing?
Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
It could be better for Nick, right? So I just hear everybody talk about this. So the one thing you have to understand, at least in the Midwest primarily, is that like you had said earlier, regarding drug offenses in the East are treated very seriously. In the United States, they're almost treated as a mental health issue. So anything related to drug offenses is first, unless you're trying to like sell it. Like we're assuming that that's not the case.
I would assume that's not the case.
Yeah, we're assuming that there's just usage, and in a usage situation, they're going to say, okay, what can we do to make sure that this guy and these other two ladies stay clean, they get the treatments that they want, so that we don't have to see them again and again and again. That's how the court systems treat these sort of things, and it's almost like a mental health case anymore. So they're very lenient on it if it's your first offense, especially. And so this is very likely, I mean, assuming you play your cards right and there's no, like, there's nothing weird going on in addition to this. It can just get sort of a probationary thing, do your treatment plan, stay sober, test, show up for probation, maybe do some community service sort of thing, and then go about your day. And hopefully you stay clean and we don't ever see you again. That is how the courts mostly treat these situations. Now, I say that these they have 5 children. Presumably, they were arrested at home. If there's any sort of underlying, like, child neglect kind of aspect of this, it might be a different story. But
I wouldn't think so. Apart from eating a lot of SpaghettiOs, I think I like to think that the kids probably do pretty well. I mean, they've got a snack budget of about $3,000 a month. So, well, maybe not so much now, but they're well stocked over there, as I understand.
But neglect can be exposing your kids to you being intoxicated on uncontrolled substance.
Well, that's the thing, though, because like Aaron was saying, like he said, like literally on the show yesterday, that the reason he doesn't want to hang around with them anymore is because Nick was doing drugs in front of the kids. Now, what does he mean by that? Is it gummies? Is it nose candy? Like,
well, and that's the thing. I don't know that it is like marijuana. I know there's a weird technicality issue going on with the law in Minnesota with regard to marijuana and edibles. And technically it's illegal, but I don't think they're very happy with the fact that it's legal because I think they did it by accident. But I have to imagine this is beyond marijuana. This is on a different type of.
Yeah, if you watch some of the streams, like he comes back from like a bathroom break and there's literally like white stuff on his nose in some of these clips. Yeah. Like live streaming that, and that's like obviously it gets clipped a million times and makes its way around the internet.
But what I mean is in the charges that's underlying, there's no neglect or abuse of children. There's nothing.
No, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that it's just going to be like, hey, man, you've got some drugs here. We're going to pick you up on this. And the police, when they arrest on these things, even know how the courts treat these cases. So again, it's more of a mental health sort of approach to these things. We have substance abuse treatment courts in Michigan, Ohio. I don't know about Minnesota specifically, but there's substance abuse treatment courts all over the place now. And so he's not going to go to prison. Again, we're assuming like somehow the police got involved over at the house. He was intoxicated, or they were at some point, and there happened to be firearms in the home, right? Unless they're out like in the street going crazy, running around with guns. I think this is pretty much just going to go away.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The chat said telling me I'm wrong, but I figured they'd be out in under 24 hours. People are saying they're going to hold them until the end of Memorial Weekend. Is there a possibility of that?
I find that I find that very odd. At the most of the time. Now, I'm not a Minnesota attorney. I'm a Michigan attorney, but I feel like they're across the lake from us, so we're fairly similar. They would have them probably arraigned tomorrow at some point, and then if they haven't been arraigned already, because there could have been an afternoon arraignment, which usually runs at like 1:30 or so on average. And if they miss the afternoon arraignment because they were picked up at 11, they'll be arraigned tomorrow morning. Bond will be set at some point. If there's no past record, it should be a PR bond, a personal recognizances, basically promise to show up sort of thing. And they should be out at some point tomorrow.
Right. Hold on a second.
That would be my anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to qualify all this
that would be what I would expect. that would be what I would expect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully this is a wake up call. I think everyone has been. It's been pretty obvious for a while that there's something going on that needs to, like, there's being medicated, like self-medicated with drugs, or maybe just partying too much or something. And it gets away from you. Like, it's like you just do a little bit, right? Like, you drink a little bit, drink a bit more, maybe have a couple more, and then it really can get away from you. But I think to the outside observer, especially if you stop watching for a while, the change is quite drastic, even in the last 7 months.
I
Something,
agree. Yeah.
And it seems it's kind of because they had the big Coke screen. They had the Coke stream, and then I think Nick said he was going to take a few days off, and I guess now he's forced to take a few days off. It seemed like he was starting to get the picture, but maybe he got it a bit too late. But I really don't know.
Yeah, it's a shame. And in fact, I just watched what is it? Dragon's
Treasure. Yeah, that's the video I was talking
Treasure
about.
video yesterday, and oh my god, it was sad. And he was I think he was really reaching out to Nick, be like, man, you know, you need to get some help. And when because I remember those days that he was talking about.
Yeah, that's the video I was talking about. I watched it too, like The Downfall of Nick Rekieta, The Man Who Helped Me No Longer Exists. This actually really resonated with me because a lot of the feelings that I have, because I used to be a big fan of the show, and I kind of just couldn't keep watching it because it was getting too ridiculous. Yeah, a lot of this I agree with.
And I will say too, as far as his bar license is concerned,
that should be fine.
He'll be fine because a lot of attorneys have substance abuse issues, surprisingly. And not surprisingly.
Well, I mean,
the stresses that we deal with.
Attorneys are allowed to make mistakes, right?
Yes.
Like, they're just citizens.
As long
but
as you
it's
don't
like,
mess with clients' money, you're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah. Like, if you committed some crime in the act of being a lawyer, but just committing a crime as a lawyer is not a disbarable offense, as I understand it.
It's not. Nope.
Yeah. And even if he was disbarred, it wouldn't really make much of a business. It wouldn't make much of a change in his life because he doesn't practice law at all. It's like he's purely like a live streamer these days.
Yeah, I was on his.
But it would be like a moral victory for his detractors, absolutely.
Yeah, I think last year, maybe it was like June last year, he said he just finished up his last retained case, and he wasn't practicing anymore. He wasn't taking on any more clients. I think he had like 1 or 2 clients for a while, but I think last June was his last client. He said.
How will he be? When I say he's fine, what I mean is that he will be able to continue doing his work. Like, if you're a practicing lawyer and your lawyer is your income, and you get disbarred, you can no longer provide for yourself, right? Nick can continue to stream no matter what. That's his job. I don't think he has any hopes or desire to go back to being a lawyer. So it like being a lawyer on the internet is good branding, even though he's been saying recently that he's not a law show, but he absolutely is. But you can still talk, like, being disbarred doesn't remove the knowledge of the law that he could talk about. Obviously, this is bad. Like, it's not good, but he'll be fine in the long term because he's an entertainer. He's not a lawyer. That's his profession is entertaining, not lawyering, is what I'm saying. And you can continue to entertain people even if I'm watching you. I hate watching. Wendy with a bit of a $10 MLS is my favorite site lawyer. Lego.
All right. Thank you, Wendy H. Wendy H.
Does she mean on YouTube by site, or are you on site?
Website lawyer? I don't know what she means by that.
Well, thank you very much for the $10 dues. Much appreciated. People in the chat saying I'm a cow for not letting Max on. I sent Max a link. I sent the Max a link a while ago. But we're only going for another 5 minutes, and then Sean's stream is starting, and he'll be able to give you the real lawyer, not just fake internet lawyer.
That's right.
It's so weird that I'm like this. I'm in this like law adjacent space. The only course that I'll probably cover, like actual legal stuff, is the not written out. Sorry. What is it? Koberger, the Moscow murders thing. That's probably like why I have a lot of law people following me, actually.
Okay.
I think that's actually the proceedings are kind of starting with that, but it's moving so slowly. But I was actually thinking about live streaming that entire thing when it comes out finally. Yeah, have you been following that at all?
Yeah, no, that's going to be an interesting trial for sure. I haven't followed it in a few months, but my whole issue with that particular case is the timeline that the state has set out. I don't think the state's timeline works practically. And so essentially it gives 14 minutes for him to find a parking spot, get past the food delivery guy, go in there, unalive all those people, clean himself up to the point that he could get back into his car and get half a mile down the road before they pick him up on the camera again. Like, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah, like, it's kind of funny because a lot of people that watched Nick for a long time, like, it's starting with the Vic Mignogna stuff, that court case went really fast. Like, it went lightning fast for the first 6 months, and then it slowed down big time. So a lot of people kind of got this idea that, like, the law was really quick and agile, but it's actually like the slowest thing ever. It's like awful. It's like years and years sometimes. Because when that was happening, the things were coming out like lightning. Like, it was like every other week there was new stuff.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the law moves very slowly.
Yeah.
For a good reason, in that you don't want to rush to judgment, but it can seem extremely tedious when you're watching it on the outside.
I have to catch up on the details of that case, actually. I think Andrea Burkhardt has been covering it, if you know her.
Yes, and she's been doing a great job on it.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Max?
Hey, man, how are you? Good morning to you. What a wonderful Friday morning it is.
You're right, it is Friday. I was going to get up. I got up at 7:30 this morning. And I was like, I had a plan set I had my plan set last night. I'm like, this is what I have to accomplish on Friday. It's going to be a busy full day. I wake up, check my first message. I'm like, what the fuck?
You know what? Nick was probably thinking the same thing on Thursday morning, you know?
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, I looked at just look at the times. It's April Imholt was at 10:03. He was at 10:08, and then his wife was at 11:30. I think probably there's a delay. It was probably at the residence, but you had to wait till somebody took care of the kids, and then, you know.
That's actually an interesting.
Sounds logical.
It could just be that they were slow booking one person. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, when the booking stuff comes up, it tells you the time. Yeah, okay, it does actually tell the time for everything. So you can see, because it's like
so they
an
were
hour.
booked at what time? What time?
10:03, 10:08, and 11:30.
Nick was 10:08. His wife was an hour and a half later.
April was 10:03, 5 minutes earlier.
April was 10:03.
Yeah.
So this whole the police showed up to the house then.
April was first,
and at least an hour before this.
Okay.
Because this is the
9
point
a.m.
that they take them back to the jail or to the station to actually book them. So they've already shown up, done their preliminary investigation, and determined that someone is going to get arrested, or all of them are going to get arrested, and then they've transported them. So they showed up at 8 a.m., 8:30, whatever, something like that.
Oh, so that
I
is
couldn't
the
find
booking
April.
time.
Allegedly, she was hiding.
That is not point of arrest. That's point of booking.
A dirty joke.
Thanks.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right.
All right. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Intake
I imagine my unsupported speculation is that there was some sort of welfare check, probably, or not probably, but maybe for the children. And maybe someone from Child Protective Services showed up and then said, "Oh, we need to maybe get some authority out here." Called the police and did that sort of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining happened.
That means they were high at 10 a.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
No,
it's not
okay.
Great.
Well, what happened was
maybe
there was Aaron Imholt had indicated his first former ex-wife had been upset because they're going through and basically it was a condition of April was intoxicated or something, and she was transporting their children to her. And so I think that it actually could have been Aaron's other ex-wife who had on a CPS.
I remember that Aaron's first wife messaged him saying hey, I just saw that April was arrested. So she knows about it, but I think she learned about it later. No, I don't think it'd be the ex-wife for that. I assume this isn't the real Ethan Ralph. This is slander. Slander. That's not true. That's not true. No.
Hey, say, I talked to Mindset. I didn't talk to Mindset. I was messaging Mindsets in the States. So
really?
He was one of the first guys. I go, hey, Andrew, guess what? So yeah. He's in Miami.
I think that Andrew is going to take a very neutral sort of just like facts of the matter of the case. I know some people think that like that Nick isn't still friends with all these people like Sean and Andrew, but I'm pretty sure they are. It's just that they don't go on each other's shows as often because they're busy. Like when you're on the internet, like when you see that people aren't hanging out as much, you're like, oh, this means that they must hate each other. I don't think that's the case. I think that Nick does still have a lot of these people as his friends, but maybe like they just don't want to be a part of their degeneracy, essentially.
I think, though, a lot of these friends have in the past, from when it started February of last year to when it to maybe October of last year, they've said things and they've been told firmly to F off and mind their own business. So, yeah.
That's what happens, though. Like when you get addicted to substances and like people start to help you, you start getting aggressive at the people that are trying to help you, because like it's easier to be mad at somebody else than to rationalize your own mistakes, which is very sad. This is kind of like unrelated, I suppose, but like it looks like Hayden, Aussie Overlord, is going to America.
Oh my God.
He said an hour ago, here we go, take off, see you soon, Vegas. He's going to have, when he turns his Wi-Fi on in Vegas, he's going to be like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, he's in the air.
He's in the air.
This is going on.
When he lands, he's like, yeah, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to go have, oh shit. That's gonna be,
when the stream from hell came out, I messaged Andrew, who had just left, had just entered US he had entered at LAX, and so we're joking. You say, yeah, as soon as you enter the States, all this happens. But we didn't even think by the end of this week this would happen.
Bobby says, when you get between a person who's addicted to drugs, you're literally trying to end the parties, they get hostile. Yeah, like a lot of people. Like I've actually had something like this happen to me recently, where somebody is very clearly delusional, and I tried to tell them this, and they started attacking me, saying like, I guess you're just gaslighting me now. It's like they're literally gaslighting me while I'm trying to tell them that they're like sick. And they're like, no, you're trying to destroy me. You can't. It's so sad. Like, but it happens.
Yeah, they're just justifying it in their own mind, and they know that they're justifying it in their own mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, party has to end eventually, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have dinner with Bob Whiting tonight. So if I join you for the festivities, I might.
Yeah. We should be streaming again in about 8 hours from now? 10
yeah,
hours
but when I come back, I'll probably be pretty looped. Maybe not as looped as BP. But
yeah. Looks like Sean's stream is
Mm-hmm.
starting. Potentially Sean's starting up his stream. So I'm going to stream raid him. Go over there, give him a like, let him know where you were watching from. He's going to go over tonight. He's got Nick Rekieta arrested, Taiwanese MP hacks democracy, Scotty Scheffler update, and more. Go support Sean. He's a good guy. He's a practicing attorney. And all right, Ralph says, not real Ralph, I'm sure. Rekieta is showing the way. Rekieta? Rekieta. Rekieta.
No.
All right, boys. We'll send you over to Sean. You want to say goodbye, lads? MLS, you want to say goodbye?
Oh, yeah. Take care, everybody. Have a good Friday, and check out memes. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I know you're here watching.
And I'm going to post a new Discord link for all the new members if you want to join. So if you join as a member, you do get access to the Discord, private Discord, invite only, or members only. Max, anything you want to say before we head out?
Yes, boys and girls, don't do drugs. Too expensive.
There you go. All right, guys. So yeah, peace.